One of the greatest joys is weaning yourself off of the opinions of others. It's liberating. It's helps you to live an authentic life. Seeking the approval of others, you become their prisoner. And once you start realizing that the short-term high that you might feel when someone gives you a compliment or says positive things about you, or in an absence of disapproval, is not worth the long-term cost. The long-term cost is a slow, steady erosion of your personality. And it's so common amongst us today that we just don't even question it. We don't even question the fact that how dependent we are on approval. And to prove this point, just try saying something that is offensive or might damage or hurt or wound someone's ego. If it's a critical comment, you decide you don't believe in white lies and you tell the truth when asked, and you see people's reactions. They blame you for the state of the state of their inner being. How could you say something like that? That's so rude. You really hurt my feelings. And I just think that how easily we give up our power, our self-worth to other people's opinions. I mean, other people's opinions is like, like an a-hole. Everyone has one. And once you break that chain, you can start practicing some stillness and just finding out who you really are, finding out what makes us tick, finding out what makes us happy, finding out what we're passionate about, and giving up the need to get those beliefs, passions, desires verified or approved by others. It's just no longer necessary. One of the greatest, if you watch my videos, you realize what it's all about is control. From all sectors of life, from friends, family, government, politicians, teachers, education system, it's all about control. It's how to shape, mold, and manipulate you to do what they want you to do. And once you realize the game that's going on and the false carrots that they dangle before you that we just go around blindly chasing, once you realize that it's all those things are illusions and don't bring long-term, rock-solid peace and contentment, you can start going within and discovering who you are. But one of my favorite manipulative, there's tons of them, but one of my favorite manipulative techniques that people implement, and parents are really good at this, teachers, it comes from all sectors, is the guilt, is to make us feel guilty. And one of the famous ones is to say that we're selfish. You're being so selfish, Steve. How could you say that? How could you do that? Why won't you help me? Why won't you do this? All these castigating remarks that are thrown, the little arrows that are darts or that are thrown at us under the umbrella of we're being selfish and we're hurting other people and we're only thinking of ourselves. And that's such a common manipulative technique that, again, we automatically think it's negative. We don't even question it and say, hey, is this true? And if it is true, so what? And it just amazes me how easy it is to manipulate people by calling them selfish. And what the irony is, the just incredible thing is when someone's calling you selfish, it's because you're not doing what they want you to do. So who's really being the selfish one? They're calling you selfish because you're not living up to their standards or expectations. And usually those things are to their benefit. So they want you to change your behavior so they could benefit more, or they could feel better about themselves, or they could feel better about calling you the son, daughter, girlfriend, husband, whatever. And so it's a selfish critique. The majority of times when someone calls you selfish, it's because they're being selfish and they want to control you to do what they want you to do. It's just strange irony. And yet we don't, and everything, let's break it down to logic. Instead of reacting on emotion, let's break it down to logic. And when you break it down logically, it just seems so, using common sense, it seems so absurd to alter my behavior just because someone called me selfish. When in fact, we as human beings are selfish beings, and that's not a bad thing. And I think in relationships, some of the most successful relationships are relationships where you have two selfish people coming together that each, in that match, in that pairing, they are each getting each other's needs met while benefiting themselves. So they're getting what they want, the other person's getting what they want, and they are also, it's a win-win. It's basically a win-win situation. And that is some of the healthiest relationships. Why relationships fall, crumble, crash to the ground is because the other person is not getting their self-interest, their needs, their selfish needs met. So an enlightened selfishness says, well, hey, how can I meet the other person's requirements or needs so it can be reciprocal? And once you have that reciprocity, you have things work harmoniously. The moment you start squashing someone's self-interest, they are not going to be as motivated, inspired, and going to want to please and do the things out of a necessary selfish need. So you want I took a sales course long time ago when I was in sales, and one of the things that I learned, which was very effective, is everyone's favorite radio station is WIFFM. WIFM, what's in it for me? Everybody wants to know what's in it for me. And some people mask around it and have this airy-fairy feeling like, I don't care about myself, I only care about other people. And then there's some people that legitimately, like a Mother Teresa, who gave her life to help others. But even in that case, she is doing what makes her happy. So it's a selfish sacrifice she's making because that's what pleases her most. That's what gives her joy. She's using her own self-interest to make herself happy and others happy. Because if she were to sit by and do nothing and watch people starve, watch people go hungry, and watch the poor suffer, that weight upon her would just make her miserable. So helping others makes her happy. And what we need to do is find what our self-interest is and then live by that and not be manipulated by other people trying to control us and tell us we should be doing something different. Now, I'm not talking about harming other people. If we have a selfish need to injure, harm, or do negative things on others, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about finding your own inner music, your own passion, and then living by it. And then not beating yourself up when other people call you selfish. Really, in reality, we get so worked up over a simple concept that is just science. It's just sound waves bouncing off our eardrums, tickling the little hairs in our ears, and then we translate it into language, and then we react all negative. How could you say that? How could you do that? And it's just sound waves when you break it down. And we ultimately are in control of our reaction to those sound waves. Instead of blaming the other people, we need to empower ourselves and take responsibility and say, what you said is just words. I choose how to react to that. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate all your support and comments.